He's known for his emotive solos and his distinctive sound. Clapton's literally inspired generations of guitar players, and today we're going to break down the essence of his technique, focusing on how he transforms the basic pentatonic scale and how he makes it come alive, and it just sounds magical when you hear him play, even just by himself. It's just he takes that scale and he literally makes magic come out of the fretboard. So that's the big question, is how do you take that pentatonic scale and turn it into magic? So the first thing is the power of double stops, and you hear Eric Clapton talking about this idea quite a bit, and it's just the idea, like he says, that it just doesn't sound right when you play single notes by themselves, but for rock and roll it's always going to be essentially double stops where you're playing more than one note at the same time. Essentially what you're doing there is you're holding down your first finger over two notes, so you're creating a double stop, and then you play your scale against that. And when you do that, what you're doing is you're creating overtones, and you're creating this kind of dissonance and resolution to the sound. So basically when you play with your first finger there, you're playing the interval of a fourth, which is a really powerful sound in music. And then you can kind of toggle off that in all kinds of ways. But you hear him use a lot of other double stops. He's always kind of like, if he's walking up the scale, he'll often like add in this note as well. This is a beautiful double stop right here. This is another great one here where you just place your finger on the third and second strings. Or this one. So getting those double stops in there. Okay, so the next one is how he uses bends is quite amazing. So I'm going to show you 3 different types of bends. So you just take your basic pentatonic scale and you can bend any of the notes. But there's a couple of ones that he does that are really cool. So the first one, I call it the rocking bend. And he'll often actually do this with his second finger, which is quite amazing. And what you're going to do is you're going to be on the third string here, and you're going to bend up from this D note to an E note, right? So you're going to go... So you bend up like that, and then you're going to rock back and forth like this. So the way he does that is he'll bend against his thumb, and he'll go... and rock his hand like that. You can use your third finger or your second finger. The cool thing about using your second finger is you can do this like 3-finger little lick like that, which he often uses. So that little rocking bend there where you just hit the note and then you rock your hand back and forth like this. And then another type of bend that he uses is the overbend, which would be like this. So those really wild sounding bends where he's bending up like a minor third or something like that. Or like in Sunshine of Your Love. So that doing these big overbends, which is just so cool sounding. And then the third one, which is probably my favorite, which is the micro bending. And you'll hear him do this kind of thing, like for example, and those little bends like that, basically, he does this kind of cool thing where his articulation is really unique. He's almost like using like rest strokes where he points the pick down like this, and then you'll pluck the note and then kind of deaden it and push it up. So it gives this kind of like almost like a vocal sound. And and then he'll hit the note and then push the note up. So it's just a really, really cool sound. So the micro bend there, for example, is I'm going down from this C note and I'm pushing it up towards the C sharp, but not getting it all the way there. And it kind of imitates the sound of a slide guitar. Or even he talks about quite a bit about how he's trying to sound like a harmonica, which is really cool as well. I love that. So it's this kind of intricate, it's a very complex sound because you've got all these cool overtones going on and everything like that. So all right, so the third thing is ornamentation, and he's a master of peppering his licks with all these little articulations and ornamentations and trills and stuff like that. And it's not just like he's playing fast, but he'll be playing a melody and he'll insert kind of like a trill inside his melody. So it's like melodies within melodies. And one of the ways that he does this is this little lick I call a widdly wang. So it's like a widdly wang. So it's basically where you do a hammer pull. So basically, if you're going up the scale, you just, as you're walking up, you do that hammer pull. So that's a cool one. And then another one that he does, which is kind of similar, but even more beautiful, I call it a flutter trill, because it has this kind of sound like this. So it's that kind of idea there where he's playing these little flutters. And he'll often repeat them several times. And it's just kind of this cool little phrase. Or he'll do it up here like this, in the key of A. And if he's playing more clean, has this beautiful, almost like kind of sound of like trickling down, or just this beautiful articulate and ornamented sound that I just really love. So there's some of the magic of Clapton, and I wish I could even sound a tenth as amazing as him, but try just putting some of those ideas, putting some of those cool bends in there, putting some widdly wangs in, and then some of those good old double stops. So I hope this has been fun for you to watch, and it's amazing to hear Eric Clapton play. I love it. And if you like it, just let me know what are your favorite songs, what are your favorite licks, and give us a subscribe, and we'll see you next time.